and welcome to my channel. I'm Helen of Helen Jeanne Designs and Hope-Filled Journals, and today I just wanted to come back on and share with you again about the giveaway that I'm going to be doing on December the 8th. And I would like for you to refer to my video from December the 2nd where I go into all the details. Today, what I want to share with you, and I'm using, this is from the kit, the large tags. This is a part of that kit that I'm going to be giving away. But I made these journaling tags, and with this little bit of dried flowers, like a little window. And this one has a little bit of flower around it, and this cute little snowflake medallion. This was on a gift that I got. I participated in a 12 Days of Christmas gift exchange, and these little medallions were on some of the gifts. So the back, what I did is I printed up a printable that I have. It looks like coffee dyed. It's actually a printable, but I printed the same thing on both sides, so it will be the background. And in this one, I have the same thing, so that they can be used for journaling tags. So I want to make one today. First of all, I want to share with you some dried flowers that I pressed myself. The first two tags that I made as samples, I used some dried flowers that I purchased. I purchased them on Etsy from a company called Nature's Pressed, and they were beautiful. They're beautiful flowers. These are nice little daisies, and these are some little forget-me-nots. Anyway, I was very pleased with the quality of them. But they were also selling a flower press. So I decided I wanted to try drying some flowers myself. So I put them in, probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I forgot about them. I had this in my drawer, and I came across it the other day and remembered that I forgot to look at my flowers. So I thought, well, I will think of a craft that I can do with these dried flowers. So I think my light's glaring on it, but so I haven't opened this yet. So I'm going to open it with you. I don't know how they're going to turn out. I did a few layers. I didn't do too many. So let's see what they look like. Well, they look pretty nice. Yeah. I did a lot of leaves on this one. These are some pretty small little flowers. I think I'm going to have to pull those off with the tweezers, but this is pretty. Pretty leaf. Still got some of the dirt on it. These little ferns turned out nice. That one's kind of stuck. A little yellow flower. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of pretty. So there's that. I'm just going to see what else I've got here. Some of them are sticking to the top page. Some little yellow ones. I honestly don't remember. I don't think I really knew what kind of flowers they were, but they were just little flowers that were growing in our yard. I think a couple of them were daisy type of flowers. These are some pretty ones. They've got a little bit of purple in them. So I'm going to pick out a few. Let's see if I have another layer. Nope, that's it. I'm going to pick out a few that I am going to use for this one. Now I don't need a lot, but I'll pick out a few that I think would work out well. And I have this little fern leaf, which actually I've got these ferns that I just did, but I'm going to go ahead and use this one since I already cut it down from the other tag that I made. Kind of like these little purple ones. Maybe I'll do the purple. Couple purples. And maybe these yellow ones. I'll try that. Get all three. That should be good because it's not a very big hole that I've got here for the tag. So what I did is I cut out my tags and then I cut out the backing actually at the same time. And again, I printed this on both sides. You could use coffee dyed paper or this is cardstock. So what I would do is coffee dye both, both sides, which it should be coffee dyed on both sides. If you coffee dye it, it goes through. So I'm going to use this. And then what I have here is I have this little strip of acetate that I purchased in the past. I used it in another video where I showed some journals that I made. It's just this acetate that I got on Amazon. So I'm going to do this, maybe try to make it a little bit different than these so that they're not all the same. So the way I did it is I started out with my acetate. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be folding this in half. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so that I can see where to put my flowers, which you may not be able to see it very well on the video. So what I'm going to do is kind of put this here just to get an idea of how I'm going to arrange them. I know I want the fern and then the little flowers. What I do is I'm putting a little bit of glue just to tack down the flowers. So I'm going to put a little bit on the back here just to kind of hold them in place. Now if this glue gets on the acetate, which it does seem to do, it dries clear, but you can still tell where it is. I think I'm going to get rid of that because can't really see very well. So I'm just basically eyeballing it on what I think might look good. Hopefully you can see that okay. So I tacked them down with a little bit of glue. And then this can be folded over. I'm just going to get an idea of what this is going to look like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue just around the edges of the acetate, just to kind of hold it in. If you put too much, then it actually kind of smears into the center, and I don't want that because then you can actually, you can see where the glue is. Which actually the one with the bird there, I'll show you what I'm talking about because that's what happened when I did that one. So give this a little bit of, let that dry for a second. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little bit of smudges there where the glue got on the acetate, and you can see it. Okay, so they're tacked down. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. And then I've got to just kind of decide how I want that. So I think that would look pretty. It's okay if the fern goes above maybe so I can see the flowers a little bit more. So what I'm going to do here is around my edges, I'm going to use my Distress Oxide and give it a little bit of, around the edges, a little bit of color. Now, on this bird, on this circle, I did some stitching around that one. This one I didn't, and I think it's okay as long as I glue it down good around it. And for the sake of time, I'm probably not going to stitch around this one. Plus, it's already got this little flower border, so I don't think I'm going to do any stitching around there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the flowers, the acetate around here where I want the flowers to be. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of eyeball it a little bit, and then I'm going to put my glue on the tag rather than on the acetate. So I'm just going to glue it a little bit around the edges, but not too close to the center, because if the glue gets pushed into the center, then that's when it gets on the acetate, and it just gives it kind of a smudged look and not quite as clean. It doesn't really affect a whole lot, but it does look nicer if the glue doesn't get into it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this down here and put this on top, so that way I can see how I want to position it. I kind of like that. So I'm going to go ahead and lay it down. There you go. Okay, so now I just need to decide if I want to put any embellishments. This is going to actually go behind it, so it's not going to be a clear window. If I wanted it to be a clear window, I could cut the flower shape out of the backing also, but I decided I liked it okay this way because I like to have a lot of journaling space. But you could have, this could be open and just a clear window in the center, and you could still have some journaling space. It's up to you. Okay, so now I just need to decide if I want to put any trim. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this together just with a little bit of glue stick to tack it together, because I am going to sew around the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and do my sewing. I will decide, if I decide to put any trim on, I'm going to go ahead and do it when I do the sewing. Okay, before I do my sewing, I just wanted to fill you in on what I decided. I'm going to use this as a little loop. It's just a little bit of ribbon with some lace over the top. And I'm going to sew around the edges. And then I'm probably going to use this little gold bow. So I'm going to go ahead and do my sewing, and I will see you in a minute. Alrighty, so I did my sewing, and I went ahead and I tacked on my little gold bow, and that's about all I'm going to do for this one. So there you have it. I have 3 journaling tags. I think next time I probably will try to cut out the back also and make it more of a clear window. I just think it might look nice. This is a little hard to see, but it does give it kind of a vintage look along with the floral. Don't have much of a vintage look to them, but I kind of like mixing the both of them together. I just need to go around my edges a little bit. Anyway, I'll do that later. But I just wanted to share with you. Don't forget to go to my last video from December 2nd, where I showed how to make the gift card holders. And if you want to be entered in the drawing, go ahead and make your comments on that video. So I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for watching my channel, and I hope you'll craft along with me. And until next time, happy journaling and happy crafting. I'll talk to you later.